Another week, another review, and unfortunately it's anything but good. Hello everyone, NG here, and we are back now with another weekly Flash episode review. This week we're going to be talking about Shade, which was the episode that came yesterday, and I'm providing my thoughts on it, so hold on if I'm late. I still have a job to do, so here's the deal. I will be providing a summary of this episode, what I liked, disliked about it, etc. This review isn't going to be a long one, but I will say that this episode wasn't really that great. It was alright, but it had a bit of problems. So let's get started. Wally starts having dreams of a life he once had as Kid Flash in the Flashpoint timeline. And it's getting everyone on edge. Barry and the rest of his crew try to tell Wally not to let it worry him. But it soon gets him more curious. However, that gets put to rest when a metahuman comes to cause trouble, forcing Barry and his team to get to work. However, Wally ends up experiencing pain due to Alchemy desiring him, or rather, giving him the desire to give him what he lost. Realizing their options, Wally decides to take the chance to meet Alchemy to rid the pain. And this will give Team Flash the opportunity to stop Alchemy. Will Wally free himself of the pain and regain what he lost? Will Team Flash be able to capture Alchemy and put an end to this? And what else could possibly happen? Not much of a summary, but what I am going to say is that this week's episode wasn't really that good. It was alright, but overall it wasn't that good. Let me explain why. Let's first start with the positives. The positives were, of course, Team Flash itself. Everyone. Team Flash were the highlight of the episode because they helped make the episode be a little more relieved. And I also liked a lot of things. There were so many things I liked. It was really good. For example, the dynamic between Cisco and Caitlin, especially when it's discovered that Caitlin has metahuman powers. Yes, she's becoming Killer Frost. And it's only a matter of time, but we've been knowing about it since last week. And I always thought it would never even come to pass. It's alright. But either way, I really did enjoy the dynamic between Cisco and Caitlin, and it was a very strong one. But it also had a bit of worry and dread, mostly because of the fact that Cisco vibed Caitlin, and it revealed that Cisco, as Vibe, was taking on Caitlin as Killer Frost. And when the secret was revealed, it shocked everybody, and they wanted to do something, but there was nothing anyone could do. Which could explain why Caitlin was wearing those power metahuman dampener cuffs to limit her powers, but even that wasn't enough. It's only a matter of time. And I really did enjoy this dynamic. Not to mention, everybody did a good job. Every actor, actress, etc. They all did great, and it was pretty good. Though I can't say the same for everything else. Don't get me wrong, there were some bits in the episode that were alright, especially with the chemistry that they all had, and the fact that Joe was having a little bit of a date with Cecile. It was pretty nice that Joe's actually getting to have fun for a change, getting to move on with his life. But, unfortunately, what there was in positives, there was a whole lot of negatives. Now, there was also a theme of the episode, and it was the fact of Wally West's memories as Kid Flash. And I wish that Wally can get his powers already. I mean, what's wrong with not getting your powers from Alchemy at least? Though sure, they would have tried the other route, which was the same way how Barry got his powers, but that could be a bit of a disaster. But honestly, in my opinion, I wish they would have went that route, instead of the route that they went for Alchemy, which I will explain as one of my negatives. So let's begin with the negatives, because I do have a lot. Number 1, the villain of the week, Shade. Shade was lame. Basically, a villain made out of shadow, and its weakness was light. Not that great, just kind of lousy. Very, very, very lousy. He was a lame villain. He didn't really get to do much despite the fact of him being a threat. Made worse, he was just some random thug getting shadow powers. And you want to know what the weird thing is? Shade was actually a villain from the JSA, from the 1940s. And I mean, wow, this is how it's done here in the TV version? No, that just really disappointed me a bit. Reason number 2, Dr. Alchemy. Yes, Dr. Alchemy does appear in this episode. However, he didn't really do much, aside for offering Wally a chance to regain what he lost. Now, don't get me wrong, I do love his design, but the way how he got taken down was just kind of lame. But it did entice Wally to grab the orb that was on the ground, and eventually would lead to the big reveal. Yeah, we got another speedster, except this speedster isn't even human. He goes by the name of Savitar. I will admit, I did like Savitar's design, look more alien. But why the heck do you have to shoehorn him in at the very end of the episode? I understand that they were running out of time, but come on, give it a bit of a breathing room here. There are so many things that I have found wrong with this episode. Trying to explain it in this review isn't enough. I'll be honest, there was some good, but a lot of bad too. And this episode wasn't that great. Compared to last season with all the issues Barry had to contend with Patty, don't remind me on that, trust me. So, I am going to give this episode a 6.5 out of 10. This episode was alright, but it's not one of the best. I really mean it. Team Flash really did steal the show with the humor, the chemistry. It made the episode good. Had it not happened, I would have rated it a lot lower. However, what I can say is that for the positives, there are negatives. And there are a lot of negatives here. Lame villain, lame way of taking down Alchemy, and shoehorning Savitar at the very end despite the cool design at the last minute. I'm sorry, but this episode wasn't that great, and it just made me feel like a letdown. Despite how intense it was still okay. Though, the episode could have been better. It could have been a lot better. Heck, it would have been nice to see Wally West be Kid Flash once more, despite the risks. I understand that they tried to have him locked in just to keep him safe. But what choice do you have? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Wally did get his powers and he would use it to do good. That would actually make me feel a bit more happy, because I didn't mind it. Though I feel personally they're just trying to save it for like later on. Who knows? Who really knows, to be sure? Anyway, that's it for this week's episode. I apologize if it wasn't much of an episode because I've been quite busy today and this past week. It's going to be really something. It's going to be really tough. But not to worry, I will be back on my feet for next week. Why? Because we're getting Killer Frost. Next week, the return of Killer Frost. And it's going to be hell. I'll tell you that. The best part about this is that Kevin Smith's directing this episode. And if you've seen what he did with the Walking the Dinosaur, then trust me, it's going to be grand with Killer Frost next week. I only hope that he delivers for this. I really mean that. Because when she does make her appearance, it's going to be crazy. So anyway, that's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please be sure to hit the like button. It really does mean a lot to me. And I will see you guys next week for next week's episode review. And this one is going to involve Killer Frost. I kid you not. This is Mega Man NG signing off. Peace out. See you next week for when I provide my thoughts on Killer Frost.